Okay, I would like to officially call to order the April 3rd, 2018 meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission. And as always, we will start with a roll call. I am Brian Barabee.
I am Jeff Bryan.
I'm Emily Winter. Laura Stevenson.
Rebecca Longfellow.
First up tonight. The Bolton Conservation Commission will now hold a public hearing under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and under the Bolton Wetland Bylaw, Chapter 233, to consider the notice of intent proposed by Brandon Ducharme for the property owners of 258 Hudson Road. Public meeting to be held this evening.
We have Jack Maloney here on behalf of Brandon. He's given me some bullet points to go through. You guys were out on the sidewalk last Tuesday, 27th, to review the potential trails, locations to gain access to Danforth Lane, open space, and examine the debris at the proposed trailhead location. We looked at two potential trail locations. One of them coming through here along the berm and then coming up through, and then the other one coming back through here and down. Because it was determined that this area here would be really close to this house, and the same thing out in this area here.
Yes.
Brandon has indicated this little purple line as one of the trails to potentially lead out to Danforth Lane to come up and then access through across here, come up to this other trailhead, and then walk out to that open space out there. The other one is to put a small parking area in here with signs at the trailhead, sign out at the road, and then create this trail out through this open space out here. The proposed access parking area, sign location, trail location, we're be responsible for putting all that up, cleaning up that area. There's some construction debris and whatnot in there that will be cleaned up.
We also talked about on the site visit potentially reaching out to Edinger, and I spoke to Brandon on the phone earlier regarding that same thing, but understanding that that may take a little bit more time.
Correct.
But we'd like that conversation still.
Yeah, because once you get out here, you could probably hook up into that gas line easement.
Right.
And, I know four-wheelers, being out there doing some of the preliminary testing a few years back to this, looks like there's some four-wheelers, mountain bikers or whatnot that can access that gas line easement, so.
So they ride down the gas line?
I would imagine
I
that's
guess
a
so.
lot. I have not been out there, but
I mean, that's
it's maintained,
not that
it's
it's
wide enough. Yeah.
it's not a great trail by any means. There may be one or two, but it looked like there was some activity at one point, but.
Snowmobiles probably use it also.
Could be, yeah. Pretty rocky out there too, so. So I guess what we're looking to do is have the commission accept the locations of the parking area access as shown, as noted, knowing that there's going to be some additional work with Edinger, and maybe this abutter over here to just get that access out to Danforth. With his house being way up here, he does going all the way down and through here, but,
Yeah, it's kind of unbuildable.
Correct. Yeah, it's basically used for frontage and a little bit of area down in there, so. But we're looking to, close the hearing. With the approval of these trails, we go back and upgrade or revise the subdivision plans to reflect the trail easements.
Yep.
And go from there.
Any additional questions here? I should say I was out on the sidewalk with Brandon. As I'm seeing it here, it seems like what we proposed in the field and what we found was best, just going out there and walking the actual area. I was looking at the special conditions earlier. It seems to hit everything we talked about. So I'm generally happy with the plans, and we have some information about removing some of the waste that's there. And I'm just questioning, any other questions? Anybody here tonight to comment on this? Okay. Did you have any additional thoughts, concerns, questions?
I did not.
So we're probably looking to approve them as submitted currently, or do we need to do submitted and amended?
Do you have the revision dates on, or you will on the updated plans?
We will on the updated plans.
Okay. So, what it seems then is that you would approve, based on the revisions, of April 3rd, 2018. Because that would be the only thing I need to change in this.
Okay.
Right, does that make sense?
It does. So, in theory, I'm going to make a motion that we approve the notice of intent for 258 Hudson Road with the addition of the 4/3/2018 revisions.
Yes.
In that case, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the notice of intent for 258 Hudson Road as submitted with the addition of the April 3rd, 2018 revisions.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So approved. Thank you. Thank you.
There was a lot of dirty traffic up there.
Anything good?
Huh?
Anything good?
No. Depends on your definition of good.
Salvageable?
Well, there are a couple of nice pieces of big granite out there.
I'll take it. Need some new steps.
Pick them up,
Porch.
put them in the truck, they'll weigh 2 tons.
Yeah, that's fine.
You grab a corner.
Yeah, there you go. You'd have been there, I believe, but throw them back in the truck.
Is there, and we have.
There's like all concrete. I know that's concrete. Is that?
Good now?
No, it was over there somewhere. This is an old.
That's perfectly fine.
We don't have it.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a TV out there that's recyclable, if you're interested.
Brian, I think you're on that one.
Yeah, I get dibs on, yeah.
Dibs on the TV?
Yeah.
That's a TV right there.
Oh, that one.
Makes a good TV stand for my working TV. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes?
Yeah.
All right. Did anybody have any questions, edits, concerns?
No.
All right. Like I said, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes for our March 21st, 2018 meeting as submitted.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any project updates you can give us quickly?
I reached out to Jim Henderson regarding our Springs land management. So just to see what he would propose in addition to mowing in terms of handling basic ones, our Springs and Butternut. And we are going to schedule a site walk closer to the end of the month based on his availability, which I'll keep you all aware of, and just walk through it, see if the maintenance plan that was drafted with Carol is still applicable, what needs to be updated. And then after we get sort of a general list of prioritized items, then he'll come in and present to the commission and see what we would like to do.
I'm glad he's coming out to take a look. Process for a while.
And I've also reached out to Leonard Engineering, who did the Fifeshire Dam work, to assess the damage and washout of material there to see if it's something more substantial than just on the surface, or if it's just simply moving some of that material back on top. And that I will also let you know when the site visit is scheduled.
Birthday.
Earth Day, sure. We are again partnering with the Children's Department, Children's Group in the library, to do a seedlings planting and a reading on April 20th at 10 a.m. So if you have kids, bring the kids. And also that week, we will be helping do the town-wide cleanup. We will be focusing primarily along the trailheads and the roads that the trailheads exist on. But then, obviously, we'll advertise for the rest in terms of posting it on our website. I believe that week is the 22nd to the, or the 20th to the 27th, if I'm not mistaken, otherwise it's the week before. Actual Earth Day, though, is April 22nd for anyone who's curious.
Do you want to get into the Echo Water Challenge?
Sure. So I'm not sure if everyone had received that email, and I apologize for not printing it out. But we have basically been accepted to receive a donation of a water quality testing kit. And part of the idea for that is basically just getting the teen group at the library involved, if they still would like to be involved in that. I proposed it to them last summer and they had interest in it. I've reached out again to see if they still have interest, and I'm still waiting an answer on that. But even if the group at the library isn't, I'm sure we can get some high school students as well. And that would involve basically testing the local water for various things, and basically that data that's collected, you feed into the Earth Eco database that collects international data on different water supplies. To be very general about it, but.
Is it something you test on site, or you take it to?
Yes, we test on site, yep. So it's pretty basic test kits, but it's something fun and educational. And I figured it suits the commission's needs, so.
It's not bad to get some of that basic
Yeah.
data,
Are
too.
there certain places you're testing, or?
We haven't I haven't looked to prioritize areas yet, but I probably talked to the Board of Health as well to see if they have any suggestions on where to focus on. I would be interested in testing waters that are on our conservation properties or areas of concern, which we can find out from the Board of Health.
So I was thinking way back, Quail Run, that vernal pool had been something that we monitored for a while. I don't know if it still is.
It's not still monitored by myself anyways, but that could
Way
certainly
back
be
when,
something we could
yeah.
do.
That road right next to it.
I think the pond at Lake Sharon might be a good spot to,
Which one?
Say upper or lower.
either
Flower
one.
Springs probably too,
Flower
where
Springs.
Denny Camp starts at.
Right, right.
Well, they do, I know they have to
Yeah.
assessed by the Board of Health prior to starting camp, so.
Be double covered.
Yeah.
777 Main Street. Why not? All right, the Bolton Conservation Commission will now hold a public hearing under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and under the Bolton Wetland Bylaw, Chapter 233, To consider the notice of intent submitted by Michael Burke for the proposal of a garage at the property located at 777 Harvard Road. Public meeting to be held this evening. Michael Hughes.
Hi, how
Sorry.
are you? I apologize.
Oh,
It's
right.
written correctly on your order of conditions. not
Oh, right
right.
here, please, yeah.
Get the hot seat.
You know, like cars in your garage, in your kitchen.
Yes, yes. Forgive me, I'm new at this. This is all new process to me. I'm proposing to build a 24 by 24 garage where historically there was an existing barn, a blacksmith shop. I did get zoning board variance 2 weeks ago. I did have a study done by David Sadowski out of Bolton, Mass. All that documentation was submitted. He did a delineation study, if I'm getting that correct.
Delineation,
Yes,
yeah.
delineation study, where it needs to be marked off for the wetlands. I know that it's considered a perennial stream, but in August and it pretty much dries up, but David said just consider it a full-time stream, and, you know, that should cover you and get over all the obstacles. So I believe all that documentation has been submitted to the board.
So the only I'm trying back to the document. The one thing I have a question on is, so DEP issues each notice of intent a number.
Yeah, I got that
think
number,
we've received
yes.
that.
I do
So
have
if
that.
you look at the bottom of the number,
Yeah, yeah.
it actually
Driveway.
states,
No, the ones around that, okay, got it. I even put past the business.
This is the target, it's not the side of the house.
maybe it's not this one.
There's a lot of activity in this intersection.
Oh, yeah, no, I know exactly where this is, yeah.
Oh, I could be wrong. Let me back up for a second.
Right.
No, it wasn't yours. I apologize. I
Okay.
retract my statement.
That's the existing barn as it was in, I believe that's 1912, but the barn was there from like 1831, with records show, all the way past that.
Okay, so
So, if I'm reading this, so the existing barn,
Here's the wetland.
Yeah,
this
so
is the 100
proposed
foot, right? So
garage.
everything's within the 100 foot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's the existing house right here.
Yep.
The driveway right now is basically within the roadway area.
Yep.
And my cars are kind of parked on that existing roadway area.
Yep.
What I want to do is put a 24 by 24. That's anything small than that wouldn't really accommodate cars. There was, you know, I went even 22 by 22, and it just wouldn't fit
Yeah.
right realistically. So basically, where the existing fence line is, the rock wall fence line is, that would be where the, you know, about 1.5 feet off would be where the garage door is.
Sorry. What's there now? Is it just?
It's just open grass. It's just,
Okay.
it's just lawn.
how are you gonna pull into the garage from the
The
existing driveway?
the existing driveway is gonna stay
Yeah.
the same.
Got it,
So there's gonna be no difference in the existing driveway.
yeah,
It's just where the fence stops where the driveway is, that's where the
Yeah.
garage door is gonna be.
got it.
Laura, did you have any questions offhand?
Drainage?
Well, the drainage, it naturally slopes gradually towards there's, I mean, it's a slight slope towards the pond.
Okay.
But what we're, there's an existing.
It's like a little pond, little like,
They call it a fire pond.
yeah, that's not that big. It's
But
like the
they
size of
don't.
a table or something.
Mm.
Right, Harold wanted to dig it out at one point, and I think they were told not, he couldn't do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
because there was no place on the road to, it's such a busy area that there's no place to back in a fire truck or whatever, and it's actually almost from the roadway, it's almost 8 feet down.
I guess it's more like the drainage off the building itself, where, gutter system or anything like that.
The gutters will come back onto the road.
Up back onto the-
Yeah.
Onto the road.
Yeah, so they'll come down off the front and flush out, right? So
Right, but
get
on the
back
other
onto the
side.
driveway.
The house currently does the exact same thing.
That's how it
Just looking to see if they added that.
Oh, anything about?
if it was already-
So currently, the town actually digs pathways to drain into my yard off the road. So because it puddles and there's really no sewer systems, they cut little paths, so the water off the road currently has a natural fall into the water hole off the road. And on either side, so there's a pond here and there's a pond here, so every year they take the tractor. Yes, exactly right.
So does this culvert normally flow this way?
Yes.
Cutting across?
Yeah, so
that?
it comes through my yard, through here, and then goes,
Yeah.
Was a culvert underneath the road there?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is anybody here tonight to comment on this?
Yes.
Please.
Alice Coggeshall of the Fulton Historical Commission. Just to say that the commission has looked at this and approved and supports it.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you for coming out tonight, too. Rebecca, what you've done already.
Yeah, sorry.
Did you have any thoughts on this? Any additional?
Huh?
You need to start with
So
you.
it is a site that's highly visible, so I drive by it frequently when I go to Bower Springs and other properties, so I am familiar with it. I think it's the most feasible spot on the property, I will say that. I will say, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it's also lawn currently.
Correctly.
And then what I had hoped is that there's some form of a slab left or something like that from the structure that we know was there, that obviously did exist, because then we can say, build it right here, right on top of where the slab is, here's the footprint. And it's a lot easier in a riverfront area to say, it's already been here, there's already foundation
Yeah,
still.
the only thing I have is the historical picture of where the
Right,
driveway.
and I understand that.
I mean, it is literally, if you look at the house from the corner, it is where my driveway is right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
you
I
know, Right, and that foundation, I don't even know, because right now it goes down, I have to build up.
Right. Is there?
That's where the barn was
these-
before?
Yes.
You'll find it.
Yeah. Do these steps currently exist?
Yeah, they come off the driveway. So
Okay.
basically, the barn would be right here, and I keep these steps, and I'd leave this open, because there'd be a door right here for the plans, and I'd use these stairs to go down. So I'm utilizing as much of the existing rock walls, everything that I can.
Right, right.
For cost as well.
Right. So the only reason why I asked is because we typically, and again, I understand the difficulty of your site here. We typically try and push to stay out of 75 feet within the riverfront area because you have a perennial stream here. It is 72, so it's really close. So, I mean, it's up to the commission, but those are my concerns, and those are, I guess, the details of my knowledge base in terms of, I know it existed many, many years ago, and it is a difficult site. It's currently maintained lawn. You are looking to get your cars off the road because it seems to be a safety issue, as I understand it as well.
Did the board of the variance people give variance, did they look at the setbacks on it?
They don't look at the wetlands.
They don't look at the wetlands? They
No,
don't care?
so what they do is they look at the setbacks
From the street? The street?
Yeah, from the right of way.
Right, so that's what the variance was for.
Correct.
From the 50-foot offset
Right.
and
Right.
the 75.
But they don't look at that, so that's not their issue.
No, so technically what he's asking for, just like other applicants, is they're looking for a variance
So 3 feet
from that, yes.
of about 3 feet. Can you move the garage 3 feet?
I was gonna say that, is it possible to
It
stay
looks
within
like
the
you're off
existing?
of that retaining wall corner where it turns. Are you using that as the retaining wall for the front of the garage? Or, I
I'm
mean,
basing
it's
it
the
off,
foundation?
I'm basing it off my civil engineer saying this is the best spot for this.
Right.
On the current plot.
But if you're using the stone wall as the foundation, right, then if you were to shift it, you're off of that corner. You can't. I don't know if that's what the intent is, or if you're digging down and
Well,
doing that.
all I know is that I'm dealing with septic coming in off of
Oh,
that as
you're
well.
Septic off that too, yeah.
Okay, so these stairs come right off and there's a septic right off the,
Ooh.
That's probably 50 foot off.
So 3 feet.
I bet
That's
he's bigger than the 50, yeah, that's exactly what.
so I
yeah.
think what they're saying is to get equipment around and to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to hit every setback, so you
Right.
kind of stuck.
So with this option, I don't have to remove any existing trees. All I'm doing is building on, I think is a very small footprint, 24 by 24, on just flat grass.
Mhm.
So it's not gonna affect sight lines on coming down the road, which zoning board approved. They did approve the offset, they approved it based on the barn. I understand, but, the wetlands, I've been there since 2002. I've been in this property since 2002. And I can tell you, every August that it dries up. I mean, it's completely dry. So, and I've never had any kind of flooding, even the really bad years. I mean, maybe 10 feet past it. So I don't know if that's a flooding issue. I'm just trying to, I don't know. And we actually looked at trying to put it up here, but then you have the septic system up here,
Yeah.
and then you had 2 poles here on the road, and then another driveway, and they just said it just would have been cost prohibitive.
So I think, just from your description, it sounds like saying this area only floods a little bit. I think that's what.
Yes,
it floods
basically,
out to
that's
that,
basically what he said,
That's
right.
the way your property slopes anyways.
Right. And this is all wetlands, like when
Yeah.
it floods, all this right in here,
Yeah.
and it's between the 2 properties.
Right.
I mean, oftentimes in the past, we'd go out and do a site visit, like you said. I'm familiar, I drive by it all the time, I know where it is.
I'm
I know
familiar with it.
Jeff is too, I don't know, if the two of you are comfortable with it?
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, from what I've seen, it is lawn there. I would be tempted to say that as the proposal stands, if we could get something mentioned about the runoff, though.
Oh, the drainage?
Yeah,
Yeah, to just be directed back to the roadway.
yeah, just a line about that. I don't see anything else, I don't know.
When are you planning on putting it in?
Well, getting approval, I didn't know if I was gonna get approval, so I got it all quoted. I have to work with the cement guy to find out what that'll cost, but I was hoping to do it this year.
Yeah.
And to be honest, what I was hoping to do with the back drainage was to do rain barrels for the gardens.
Right, awesome.
So,
Going in.
Yeah.
No,
That's definitely a positive,
Right.
yeah.
So the front part would drain towards the street, but I have a lot of perennials, a lot of gardens, a lot of flower beds. And I was hoping to do two rain barrels
Yeah.
on the back.
Move the bank of the river.
Yeah.
Just for your own information, you might want to take pictures of when it does dry up and document it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Just for your own,
okay,
anything listed as a perennial stream,
okay,
it's always nice to have that.
okay.
in your
I
back
probably
pocket.
need to do from family gathering.
Mhm.
Supposed to have been during a dry season too. 100-year flood.
All right. Ladies, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the notice of intent for 777 Main Street with the added condition of a drainage and runoff, well, drainage,
Yeah, and runoff redirected.
yeah, with plans to show drain off and drainage and runoff redirected toward the street in the same manner of the existing house. I should probably close the hearing first, right? Yeah. All right. So I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing for 777 Main Street. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we vote to approve the notice of intent for 77 Main Street. With the condition that we add a runoff and,
Conditional drainage and runoff.
we condition the drainage, a plan be submitted to condition the drainage and runoff be directed towards the road. Yep. Thank you.
So-
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All
Do you
right.
have a question first?
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so I
please.
just want to make sure how I come back to you with
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
So I just talked to my architect and say, listen, we need to have the back drainage come back off to the front like the.
Yeah, if we can just run the
And then
gutters.
just, can you show a plan or write up a proposal on
Yeah,
that?
even if you just add specs to this, like
Okay.
she's added, the erosion and sediment control
Mhm.
on this. Put the detail showing that and then write in.
Okay.
What are you gonna do with the dirt? They dig the.
We're gonna fill it in, use it for the,
So you
because.
gotta dig it down, put a slab on it, it's gonna be nothing underneath it. just-
Right.
So
It's all
the dirt's
gonna-
not gonna get.
It's all staying on the property.
Staying on the property.
Yeah, because it's almost 2.5 feet high up where the driveway is, so it goes down.
Yep.
So you gotta build that up, and so what they do, they're just gonna put it all in the middle.
So if you don't find anything historical, what do you call this stuff? Hysterical.
So do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Okay,
I'm good.
you are. We-
If you wanna stick around, stick around. Lots of exciting things going on here tonight.
Always, yeah.
You don't need to redo this one.
Okay. Wants to come in and sign it this week?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so,
Yeah, you have to do that.
so yes, you're all set.
Okay.
Rebecca's gonna redraft that. And then
Okay.
we're gonna just stop in town hall this week and get it signed.
Okay,
So hopefully by the end of the week, or
Yep.
okay, and then I just drop off the new plans to.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
whenever you have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Okay,
I'll get that done. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Yeah, I live across the street.
I see you out there battling the snow and the
Yeah,
traffic.
I love it. You can come over and help if you want to.
Seems like you have a snowblower, just like me. Now I don't have to pull it up in the basement. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Good night.
You stay. Okay. The Bolton Conservation Commission will now hold a public hearing under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and under the Bolton Wetland Bylaw, Chapter 233, to consider the notice of intent submitted by Sean McCarthy for the proposed to resurface a pre-existing maintained field area and construct a patio near the rear of home. The public meeting to be held this evening.
How are you guys?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. All right. Yeah, no, I just checking some of those paper. I know. All the good ones. So we had a chance to go out there on a site walk. You had been out there earlier.
Yeah.
Curious to hear what your thoughts were going out.
I mean, as you saw, it's a relatively flat field area. It is, so the garage is outside of the 200-foot riverfront area, so it is, some of it anyways, is outside of the riverfront area. In my opinion, just from looking at the site and understanding what needs to be done in terms of maneuverability
Sure.
of vehicles, I don't know if parking machinery in the riverfront area is beneficial, but I can certainly see the area leading up to the garage, and maybe a small turnaround area, seems feasible to me, just because of the way it's very flat. As far as the patio goes, I think that's completely reasonable. I don't see an issue with that at all. But again, I think the extent of the proposed area to be resurfaced, if I'm remembering correctly, it's almost half the field area, which again, it is level, it is lawn. But just like we were mentioning with the other individual, we typically like to stay at least 75, or push it out at least 75 in terms of disturbance, which I think it is.
Yeah.
Um,
And I don't have a problem parking here.
okay.
Yeah, that's not the issue at all. It's just a turn, like that, like I showed you guys, that swoop.
Right,
Because especially when right now it's not a problem, but when you put the garage up,
yeah,
when I come in with a truck and trailer, it's like that turn, the garage bumps it out so you have like less room to turn around.
sure. Yep. I mean, those are my
Actual
thoughts. But definitely, I have no issue with the patio and proposed retaining wall.
It's a safe, just I think if you found the same, if
Yeah.
the proposed patio area kind of goes over existing lawn, you were proposing to use a pervious
Yeah.
material or
Yeah.
something, that one really didn't seem to be much of an issue. The turnaround area it is a large area over existing lawn.
Can I see a plan that has the offsets on it? Do we have one of those? I know we saw this last time.
which is it?
Snowbirds.
The aerial might help there.
There's the 200 foot.
I call those boobies the way I'm lying. The boobies.
Oh, this is the
Yeah.
200 foot here.
I'm telling you,
Got
they
it.
have different.
And the garage is oriented so that the
Oh, yeah.
doors are here.
Yeah,
That's where,
it's
so
almost
what,
like
why
a
not,
kind of
why
one
not
for two
rotate
guys
the
that work for me.
garage so that,
Yeah.
Did you look at it?
Yeah, they're
Wonder-
on the right.
would we
Change it.
rather have that much
Yeah.
gravel in the
Especially if you
200
do it on
offset,
that.
or rotate the garage and have a little bit of the garage in the offset and then not have this gravel surface all the way over?
Is that what the
there-
doors are?
I'm just
I'm
thinking,
trying to- yeah.
so I'm just
Yeah,
looking,
sorry.
I'm looking at the offsets and I'm assuming that the garage doors are here.
No,
No.
the garage doors are here.
Straight.
Oh.
Because if they were here, we wouldn't, this area is only a little area compared, once the garage goes in.
So what is the need for all,
Because like when we come in with a truck and trailer, you just swoop around, turn around, and head back out.
got it,
You know what I mean?
okay, yep.
But yeah, if the doors were here, it'd be like odd, I wouldn't be
So
able
you're
to,
thinking pull in and
just straight
then
into the garage. Like, if we,
reverse up here and then pull out.
yeah,
Got it.
exactly, yeah. Or just come in, swoop around, and then you're back. Like if you came, this is like the road coming in, if you came in, turned around, and then you're facing back out in front of the
Yeah.
garage.
Yeah.
Outside the buffer zone.
Got it.
How long are your trailers that you're pulling?
I think 16, 18 feet is 2 of them.
Yeah.
So, but then when you attach them to the truck, though, is what makes them so long.
Because I mean, if you're gonna pull in and try to back them up and stuff, it would take quite a bit of space to back up.
Yeah,
and
back
like
'em up,
that,
yeah. The problem with backing up is so hard to make around that corner where my shed,
Mhm.
like I couldn't back them in there, because
Yeah.
it doesn't work for the turn you're backing in.
No, it's a long ways back from the street.
I know,
Yeah.
I'll be holding up traffic trying to get it in my yard.
Right, that's the issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Traffic. Which I didn't realize East End Road does get pretty busy.
It's very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy.
There you go, Rebecca. The people are very impatient. Issue with that too.
Actually, is anybody here to comment on 100 East End?
Do you have to do any snow removal in this area? Or are these gonna sit for the winter?
In the whole area?
Yeah, the gravel area.
Just, all I would need to do snow removal in is to get to the garage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even need to, like, the trailers don't move in the winter.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, the trailers aren't even there in the winter, because I have snow contracts that I mark them on site,
Yeah.
and they sit there all the way from like November to April. So,
I'm just thinking like snow plowing, gravel.
Yeah.
Which will end up over here,
It doesn't do it.
so.
Yeah.
But if it's not touched. then
yeah, we're not,
it's-
I don't need, there's no sense in plowing like the whole right of the garage, I mean, the left of the garage if you're looking at it. Just like the driveway area coming in or the pathway to the garage,
Mhm.
just so I can access my garage.
Sure.
So what are you gonna put on the, you just put ground, cart pack, so that. the
Like,
water
yeah,
will
like,
go through.
yeah, that's exactly a good, great way to put it, like perk pack, like a stone, like material, like stone
Stone
dust,
rock,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So my only concern, my concern was if you're parking all these backhoes and skid steers and
Yeah.
trucks there, what are you
Within the
gonna?
buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do if it starts losing,
Right.
dripping oil and
Oh, yeah.
crap like that?
No, I agree.
You know,
Right, but
it's-
if they're parked here.
Yeah.
right?
Like right now, they're current, like my
They're
Bobcat's
right
parked.
there.
Yeah, right, under the trees.
Right.
In the
Yeah.
tree line. Because this property line's like a row of spruce trees.
Yeah.
But technically, if I got rid of the spruce trees, which I like them, I wouldn't, but, there's like 10 feet or 15 feet of property in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
So you
there.
own to this side of the spruce trees, right?
Yeah, but on the back side of the spruce trees is an old farmer's wall, and that's the property line, I guess. I talked to the neighbor. Like on the back side.
Yeah, your house is here.
Yep,
So this
exactly.
goes around on this side of these trees, but there's a wall in there.
In the middle, yeah, kind of, yeah.
That's where your property line.
And that's where I tucked the Bobcat in there.
Got it.
I don't know what anybody thinks about some kind of berm, whether it's curbing or just, something that delineates, so my biggest issue is you turn around, and it gets bigger and bigger.
Bigger.
Sure, yeah.
That if there's some kind of,
What would you recommend for a berm? Like cobblestones or something, or?
yeah, something that.
10-foot wall.
Well, we've seen people use boulders, just
Yeah.
one, and then sort of a
Right.
line.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not gonna drive a truck, and if you back a truck with
Yeah.
a boulder, you're gonna
Just,
feel
you're in
it.
big
Yeah.
trouble, yeah.
Yeah, something landscaping that makes it.
Yeah, I could pull some boulders out of a job even and
Right,
just place them
and
naturally.
place them
on-
naturally there to make it look.
Make it look, yeah.
And that.
It'd actually be nice to kind of differentiate like the area from my work, from my kids' area, yeah.
Because as far as the lawn, the grassy area, I mean, it's a really well-established grass surface.
Sure.
It's not, it's got a good tooth to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an excellent way of putting it.
But, so as far as runoff goes, that's not gonna happen, but it's more the eventual turnaround.
Yeah, no, I
Turnaround just
understand,
keeps
yeah.
getting bigger and bigger and
Yeah.
bigger. That would be my suggestion, is
Yeah.
something that.
Maybe see where it takes to turn around, then just place the boulders on the outside of it.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know what everyone else feels about that.
that's fine. Yeah. I actually kind of like the idea, to be honest.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah, just to keep that area defined.
What about a fence?
That works
Like
too,
a
split rail
nat-
fence
yeah.
or something that looks pretty.
I was just gonna say like a
good.
natural split rail, something
Yeah.
that's reasonably cost.
Yeah, that
I actually
works.
like that even better.
Yeah, that works.
That
It's
would
easier
be
for me to
great.
get to
It is.
and get
It's easier
there.
to spot,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
as your backyard
It just
depends.
gives
But
Yeah.
just anything so that it doesn't, like she said, so
Just
it doesn't
differentiate, yeah.
keep creeping.
Sure.
Mhm.
Everything we've just been discussing. Is this also being trying to condition, does it make sense to ask, or, well, to either close it, get all this written down, vote on it next meeting, or even continue?
So, we have one technicality.
Okay.
We're still waiting for your DEP number, which is in the works.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So when you submit an NOI, you know how you send a copy to the state and a
Yep.
copy to us?
Okay.
DEP will issue you a number.
Okay,
I checked online
okay,
on their database,
sure.
and it just says that the check is still processing, and I think it's
Okay.
because they don't have a lot of manpower, so sometimes
Okay.
it takes a little bit.
Sure,
But we can certainly have it all ready to go, so once we receive that DEP number, we
Yep.
can officially close, but we can certainly work on the conditions. I definitely need to add these into an order of conditions.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit more
Yeah.
detailed. But, so the short answer is
And I-
yes, but we can't close yet.
I like the ideas too, yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Okay.
So I think, so we're not gonna be closing it. As far as the distance go, you know, we were talking 75 feet, 100 feet, what was the, I don't know if there was an actual number.
Oh, right.
I know from the, I didn't measure from the, I don't know, is there a scale on that setback map?
No, not
No
accurate.
scale? Oh.
I mean, I can go out and pull tape.
Yeah.
'Cause I,
And to see what looks best, yeah,
Yeah.
at least 75.
Yeah.
Whatever anybody else thinks. I'm
Sure.
just throwing numbers.
I think it's, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I think
that's.
And actually get it on here, like where you gotta put the fence, is it coming from there? And, I mean, just on this, we're
Yeah.
waiting for DEP anyway.
Okay,
You know, where exactly, you're gonna put from here to here, here to here to here,
yeah,
whatever.
was that shed I had,
Mhm.
I'd probably just go,
From the shed?
just right from the, just a straight shot,
Straight shot.
yeah.
Okay.
What,
'Cause it
from the
makes-
corner of the shed to the corner of the garage?
No, to the corner of the,
Property, straight line.
cause right, that's kinda how I have now, but it's not as a direct line. This is like the back line of the property.
Yeah.
And the shed is like right here, so it'd be like,
Oh, I see.
you see what I'm saying, just
Yeah.
like maybe even inside this line a little bit, but there's
Yeah.
more of a direct line, yeah. Just because it's easier to do a fence too in a straight shot rather than like all over the place.
Yeah. So we can schedule a time, if you want, for me to go out and just measure what that distance is and then just confirm, or if you can measure it and then I'll just go out and confirm it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Measure it, basically.
Yeah, I can measure it tomorrow.
Uh,
I did measure from the river edge to the garage, and it was
Yeah.
like, I think it was like 250-ish.
Yeah.
Like, the garage had plenty of space.
Yeah.
But I don't know where this line is.
yeah.
But I would assume it's probably outside 75 feet for sure.
I would say that's probably a very good guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Be sure.
Put
Yeah.
some tape
Be
and.
sure.
So, our next meeting is still April 24th, correct?
Right.
Do we have anything on at 7 that we know of yet?
One, should be 7:50.
15. All right. In that case, I'm going to make a motion that we continue the public hearing for 100 East End Road until our next meeting. Is it Tuesday? Tuesday, April 24th at 7:15 PM. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so continued. So hopefully we'll get all this written down.
All right.
We'll hear back from DEP.
All right, what is
And
DEP again? I don't even remember, because I had my sister fill out the forms for me.
Department of
So-
Environmental Protection.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
State.
So,
They're the big cheese.
yeah,
We follow under them.
Oh, okay.
well, on most things, some things.
Yes.
we're
Some things they
aware
follow
of
us.
them.
Yeah.
But, yes, so what we're waiting for
Is that number?
is the number, sometimes they send comments with that number.
Okay,
Most time they don't.
okay.
I've reached out to the woman who typically reviews these prior, and she said
Okay.
she received everything at
Yeah.
least.
I know it was late because when my sister mailed it, she mailed a huge stack in an envelope, but only put one
Yeah.
stamp on it, it came back.
You can pump that.
And then I went
Right.
to the post office and paid for the postage,
Yeah,
so it came back and then I sent it again.
right,
So it was definitely delayed.
right, so
Yeah.
that's their review
Okay,
process.
all right.
I
Yeah, no
don't,
problem.
I don't think it'll be an issue, but
Okay,
they'll state any comments and
Sure.
we'll get a copy of that as well.
all right,
So,
very good. All right, thank you very much.
All right,
So
thank
April
you.
24th?
Yes.
That's 7, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Yeah, thank you.
Fourth is 3 weeks away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because school
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 vacation
vacation.
is.
All right, I don't have kids anymore, so
I know.
every day is
We
vacation.
knew it like it. It's a great time to
Every
travel.
day is a
It
vacation.
really is. All sorts of airfare deals. The Bolton Conservation Commission will now hold a public hearing under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and under the Bolton Wetland Bylaw, Chapter 233, to consider the notice of intent submitted by Jack Maloney to the applicant Jin Kwan Yu, proposing the installation of a 1,500-gallon, 2-compartment septic tank and leaching facility and the removal/filling of an abandoned swimming pool in the backyard located at the property at 232 Harvard Road. Public meeting to be held this evening. Hello again.
I'm Jack from Ducharme Dillis, 232 Harvard Road, existing 3-bedroom house. Can't really see it in this, but there's this clouded area right in here, the existing septic system. And then we have a pool area that's enclosed back in here. Mr. Liu bought this, it was bank-owned property, with the intention of upgrading the septic system, remodeling the house, and then selling it. We went out and did some soil testing back in the middle of January, did a couple of deep holes, a little bit too wet to do a perk. We took a soil sample, sieve analysis, designed a Presby type system. It does have a 2-compartment tank. It's a gravity system. We're gonna end up raising the plumbing coming out of the house, because right now it comes out really low. And Rebecca and I were talking earlier, but if you've been out to the site, there's a green manhole cover at the very base of this hill. And if you look at that cover, that is the top of the septic tank, basically the system's sitting in groundwater now. So we're gonna raise that up, get that out of the groundwater table, improve the situation as it currently stands. And the 2-compartment tank, a little bit more capture of any suspended solids in that tank before it heads out to the Presby system. The existing tank will be pumped, crushed, filled, removed, depending on exactly where it is. I believe it's right in this area. So we'll interfere with the construction of the new system, so it'll be pulled out. Then there's a pool that's in disrepair out in the back. It's an in-ground pool. Mr. Lee wants to pull that out. Safety concerns, costs too much to fix it, that sort of thing. Pull all that out and then just regrade that backyard, loam and seed it.
Is it
So-
just a vinyl pool, steel sides?
I think it is a final pool.
Same bottom?
It's same back, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the condition.
Yeah,
It's just
when we
like
were there, there was
the
about a
rubber
foot of
lining.
snow on the ground, so you really couldn't see it. I know, having gone by it a couple of times, you can see some of the sidewall that we were there, and it did look like it was a vinyl
Yeah.
liner in it. So that will all be
This is the
pulled
house
out.
right next to the long driveway that goes up there, isn't it?
Yeah, that one.
This house
On
right
this
here.
set?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the red line here represents the 35-foot no touch zone. The next line out is, in the orange here, is the 50-foot, and the third orange line is the 100-foot. So you can see there's very little space outside the 100-foot buffer to put a septic system, especially in this area. Most of them are going to be raised. We ended up inside the 100, but outside the 50-foot, as allowed by Title V. This does have a Board of Health permit. This was approved a couple weeks ago with the Town Board of Health, with some variances that were allowed to construct the new system.
So to me, it actually looks like two, since you're pulling the pool out and just revegetating that with, I would assume, some sort of natural native vegetation, not natural, native. So you're increasing the pervious surface area, right, on
Correct.
site? Even though it's probably about the same amount of disturbance that's gonna happen over by the septic, but I think it kind of almost,
Balances.
in a way, remediates it,
It'll
not to
balance
sort
it
of
out.
chuckle about it,
Balances
but
out.
yeah.
Right, right.
What's around the pool now?
There's a fence around it.
But
That's
as
it.
far as the ground goes, what's around the pool? Is it,
Is there a wooden deck around the pool, or is there a concrete patio around the pool?
It looked like concrete
Yeah.
patio.
Again, I was there when there was a foot or so of snow on it, so I didn't really get to see it,
and that's
so
gonna be
that'll all be removed.
removed and put
Yep.
into home?
Yep.
The house, same footprint, nothing?
Same
changing?
footprint, they may go up a floor just to rearrange the rooms, so it's very dated inside, probably original to being built.
Yeah.
Something else as well, it was yours, or rather this project I was thinking of. You received a copy of the DEP number?
Yeah, we can get you the sheets.
Okay,
Yep,
all right,
I did see that.
so we need that.
As soon as
So
you
just
said-
for
as
the
soon as you said that, I
commission.
looked.
Well, it's funny, I thought it was the other one, but, so the comments we received back from the Department of Environmental Protection, along with the DEP file number, was basically requesting the provision to the commission of the method in supporting documentation for BBW delineation, which Ducharme Dillis I know has, and they just need to provide that documentation. So, aside from that,
Comment?
no.
Is anybody here tonight to comment? Please.
Yeah, so I'm actually the long driveway and the neighbor that lives on the other side of the wetlands there. So I noticed that the house is being listed now as a septic that's being put in as a 3-bedroom septic. It's currently a 2-bedroom home. I'm just curious why the septic needs to be bigger if it's gonna be already so close to the wetlands, and what the impact of that, like, what's the difference between the size of a 2-bedroom septic for a house of appropriate square footage versus a bigger one hoping to expand? It seems like you go further into the wetlands.
This was a meeting that we had with the Board of Health in regards to room count. It is assessed for 2 bedrooms. We ended up getting a 3rd bedroom out of it based on this, it must have been a secondary addition that was put on at some point that could technically be a bedroom. So the Board of Health gave us the benefit of the doubt. In Title V, anytime you're designing a system, the minimum size system that you can design for is for a 3-bedroom, unless you go to a deed restriction for a 2-bedroom. And the difference between a 2 and a 3 with this perk right here is not that great. So with the board allowing Mr. Liu to get a 3-bedroom house in here, we designed for a 3-bedroom system.
So you said the difference is not that great?
The difference isn't, it's negligible in regards to the square footage size that's required. Because of the type of system that we use is the Presby, you have to have at least 400 square foot minimum, regardless whether it's 1, 2, or 3-bedroom
That's
house.
what the issue is.
Which is funny, because you could put 2 to 3 people in a bedroom, right? Then you'd be pumping your tank a little bit. Yeah.
Would the difference be, Jack? Just curious offhand if you knew what would the difference be in approximates? Where I understand that the leaching field, I mean, everything's gonna have to be a minimal size. But the difference between a 3 and a 2, is it really gonna, how much? Is there any?
Presby has a page that has all the charts with all the numbers. I have to go back through and actually figure that out. We're actually at 600 square foot because it's a 30-minute rate based on that sieve analysis. So it's actually more conservative. If we were to go out and wait till the summertime and do a perk, it would tend to be somewhat on the gravelly side, but due to the moisture content.
So I know that area is really wet all the time. My other question is, how many of the, that's all wooded area over there, right next to the
Correct.
driveway. So how much of that ends up having to come down? Like this?
Well, you can see we show the tree line on here.
Okay, I can't see that. Which one did I?
So the tree line comes basically from the corner of the shed up through here now.
Okay.
So this area will have to be removed all the way
Completely
to the
clear.
property line.
Okay.
But again, we have to maintain at least 20 feet off the house.
So how far do you have to be from my property line then with that?
We are right now at about 14 and a half feet off the edge from the septic system where the sand is going. But there will be fill and grading to within a couple feet of that property line.
So, let me be frank, my concern is, I moved into that property 3 years ago, and one of the reasons I moved into that property was because of the wetlands on it and because of the woods, and because I wanted that area. I just want to make sure that the decisions that are being made are in the best interest of the wetlands and the wooded area that, I moved there to live in, versus, a property that was bought a year ago and having, a bigger septic put in just basically to flip the house. I just want to make sure that we're not going bigger just to.
The other issue that we have is the existing well is right here.
Yeah.
So you can see that there's a 100-foot well radius that pretty much encompasses 3/4 of that lot. So regardless of whether it was a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, or whatnot, that septic system would still have to be up in this area somewhere.
So how is there a septic system now that didn't have to take all those
I was
trees
gonna say,
down?
where is the
I
existing?
think the original
Yeah.
septic failed, no? Is that?
Yeah, the
why
original
it's-
septic is probably 50 years
Okay.
old.
So
and
it
it's
has
been
to
there
be replaced.
Before, exactly.
So I don't know that much about this, but why does it have to go in a completely different spot than where the original septic system
It
was?
would basically, it's almost in the same exact spot where it is now.
But isn't that all trees and stuff now?
There is trees, and
Well,
that's
because
probably
it's been 50
one of the
years.
problems.
So they've
is
grown over the septic?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Lack of maintenance. But back then, the rules and regulations were different. This house, I'm not sure what the date is of the system. There's no records at the town hall here or at Neshoba Board of Health in regards to what's out here. So that could have been put in back in the 40s or 50s or even sometime in the 60s, upgraded, and nobody had a record of it.
So it doesn't exist, basically.
It
Oh, it's
exists, but
there.
it's
It's there,
okay.
It's probably not good that there's
So-
no.
There's a reason why
Typically
it's failed, yeah.
before the 78 code,
They
which was the
didn't.
original Title V.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
you can put whatever you want in
Yeah,
there.
towns like Bolton, Lancaster, Harvard very rarely find any information at all.
Yep.
It's usually just a slip of paper with a permit from one of the agents at Neshoba at the time saying, put in this size system in this particular
Right.
area.
And it was in where it is now, right in here, right?
Yeah.
But the Board of Health has gone over, this
This-
isn't,
Yeah,
it's
this,
got to
this clouded area right in here
Yeah.
is roughly where it is.
Where it
This is
is.
the manhole cover that's,
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah,
green
yeah.
cover, that's where the septic tank is.
Jack, are you proposing any plantings associated with that?
The removal of the pool,
Well, the removal of the pool, obviously you're gonna revegetate that. And again, I would encourage some sort of native vegetation that's relative to whether it be wetland that can sort of reestablish itself. I'm not sure, I know that's low in the back there, but I don't know how low it goes. But I guess the question to the abutter's point is, understandably, it's 50 years without maintenance, that's why there's trees there and grown over. Would it be suitable to plant something? I know you still have to maintain a septic, or have the ability to maintain it. And I, not knowing the implications of putting some sort of planting on top of it, whether it be shrubs, trees?
Typically, no woody type plants.
Okay.
You don't want anything like that that's gonna be able to sink their roots in.
Right.
Obviously, this area here, it's gonna be all grass.
Yep.
You know, maybe where the pool is back in here.
Backside.
Mr. Luke can, you know, put
Back
some
in
native
there.
plants in along there.
Okay.
And maybe a few,
Yeah.
I don't know, small arborvitaes or, you know, something maybe that the deer are not gonna take away in a year, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Was there any reason why it couldn't be pulled closer towards the road? I was trying to look where else on the property, trying to pull it
well,
further away from the buffer zone.
the top of the hill is right here.
Yeah,
So basically, the higher you go up, the higher that mound is gonna get.
yeah.
And then you're gonna end up getting into either raising the plumbing even higher or even a potential pump system. So we kind of went
Yeah.
50% of
I
each.
see.
You know, we're gonna raise the plumbing up, but we're also gonna keep it a gravity system. There is gonna be some fill in there. I mean, you can see just what we have for fill in here now. If we went up any higher, we'd need retaining walls and, you know, you would take.
System?
It is, yeah. Basically, it's gonna come off that hill and then be blended out, and roll a little flat and then drop off this way on three sides. This little blip right there is a retaining wall. There's a door that comes out this back corner that we're gonna try to save. So right out here, there's a doorway from the basement. So we're basically putting in the Graves concrete, makes a 2x2x4 or 2x2x6 foot long blocks that interlock on the top. So there'll be two closest to the house and then one off the end, so it'll be staggered down. So that grading will tie into it, so we can maintain that doorway.
Is the shed staying?
This one here,
Yep.
is that gonna stay?
I need to be cleaned up.
Okay.
Is this all staked in the field? The,
No, it isn't, not yet. Typically, we won't stake it unless you guys go for a sidewalk, we'll stake it. But it's on the Board of Health permit that the engineer has to stake the system prior to construction.
there's just a lot going on, I obviously didn't see it anyway, but.
Basically, try to match the neighbor, beautiful neighbor. This is the kind of.
Right, right,
make
to
it-
blend it
Everything
in.
beautiful. So,
'Cause that's one of the things, I don't know if you, because oftentimes we'll do a site walk, we'll actually go out to take a look at the property, which I wouldn't mind doing here, because I don't know it as well offhand. And I think one of the things we'd be possibly looking for too is a planting plan. Something actually written, what is going to replace the pool for the yard.
Okay.
And possibly possibly doing something along the back end of the property behind the system, if possible, to include, but just in general, what's gonna be needed to be included for maintenance, what's gonna be planted, for everything that gets filled. I don't know if I'm sure we do all our regular things with clean fill and all our lovely boilerplate and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But to see some of that added on and to actually get a chance to go out and take a look, Lord, would you be interested in going out for a site walk, what do you
Yeah.
think? Because
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, you know it, but I don't know it.
I don't know it well enough, yeah. Saying,
And
Yeah.
then are you
okay.
proposing straw wattles for erosion control, or are you doing silt fence?
I had put straw wattles on there, but I guess we're at the mercy of the commission if they want to put, you guys want to put silt fencing in.
What's, let me just steal this.
The other thing that we've done on the plan is
I was curious, yeah.
we've showed this dark line right at the 537 elevation. There's
Yep.
also a poly barrier that's going in there to help reduce the amount of fill heading towards the wetlands. So when we put that in, we can
That's a good idea.
steepen that slope on the backside of that septic system.
So that's, yeah,
But go ahead.
no, that's,
This right here.
I was just looking at, I couldn't remember off the top of my head how that backside slopes, but it seems to be pretty gradual.
Existing?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's pretty steep down through here.
Right,
And once
then
you
it
get to
comes
where,
back.
and then it's very gradual down. Yep.
So, I mean, I think the straw wattles or some sort of a wattle is fine. I wouldn't suggest hay bales. And if you're already putting in that other form of stabilization, you may not need the silt fence because of how local that is.
What are the caliber of the trees that are gonna be coming down in this area?
It's a mix, there's some pine, there's some oak in there.
Yeah.
Size-wise,
Size-wise.
anywhere from probably 6 to 18,
Yeah,
probably more towards the 12 to 15
I
range.
think they're that big.
Where is the driveway in reference to the property line?
Your driveway?
Yeah.
Right in here.
Yeah, so there's some pretty large pine trees in that section, aren't there?
So this is his,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, yeah.
Yep,
and you come off of Harvard Road?
yeah.
So, that said, if you don't mind, we'll continue it to our next meeting. Give us a chance to get a site visit and get out there and see some of those things added if possible.
You want me to accompany you? So we can take a look at it together?
It's up to you.
It's always helpful.
If you're able to, it never hurts,
I
yeah.
can have the system staked out prior to us going out, so if we can set a date,
That's a
that
good
would be
idea.
fantastic.
Yeah, because especially if there's some really large trees that are gonna have to come out, it'd be nice to know either
Where
what
they
trees
are.
are coming out or what trees will stay.
Mhm.
That way we, get a clue, maybe, you know. Take a look at that.
My original plan was every tree would come down anyway, because it's not good.
Just
It's too big, it's dying, so it's, any tree will come down, make it everything beautiful.
Yeah.
So, right, it doesn't matter you recommend or not, it's already, my thought was, yeah, too big tree in front especially, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
We can take a look at that, you know, any of the trees that, you know,
Diseased or whatever.
are
Yeah.
diseased or dying, you know, we can
Mhm.
pull out while the guys are there, yeah.
So I would be careful too with street trees.
I'd have to see where the one that Jim's talking about.
Yeah, I just caution on
Mm-hmm.
that because I'm not sure where the scenic road
Yep,
overlay lies, and that would require a separate hearing,
correct.
relative to
Yeah,
that.
I went to talk to the department of kind of the tree department, and he looked
The
at
tree warden?
Yeah, I don't know, I forgot the name.
Okay.
I talked to him and he said, yeah. He looked at the map,
Yeah.
looked at the trees, he said, okay, you can. But
Okay.
that was, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
When are we looking for a sidewalk?
What's a good date for people?
Next Tuesday night, that way?
This Thursday
5:15.
afternoon.
Can you do 4? Is that too early?
Yeah. It's tough.
Is 5:15?
But
somebody
if it
else's?
works, yeah.
Next Tuesday?
I mean, any night works for me. I was
Yeah.
just looking for Rebecca, if anything works better for her.
I don't have my work calendar in front of me.
Of course not.
But, the 10th, I believe, does work. I don't think I have anything.
Yeah?
Um, In the evening anyways.
What's the earliest time in the evening or best time in the evening? Not good at any time.
I am too.
I mean, the 4:45 worked fine, if it works, I don't know.
If it works, it works, and if it doesn't,
It doesn't.
you won't see me there.
Okay.
All right, so shoot for 5:15 and that work next Tuesday night, 5:15?
5:15, yep.
It's the witching hour in my house.
What was that?
It's the witching hour.
Yeah.
That I believe. I
So-
remember those.
I have to play beer.
Or you bring the kids with you?
Yeah, get 'em outside.
I do this.
I used
I
to bring
do
my
this.
kids to the site visits, it was great, yeah. Run.
Among
Bring
other
with you.
reasons.
That was the 10th, right? 10th?
The 10th, yes, right, next Tuesday?
Yep.
All right, in that case, I'd like to make a motion that we continue the public hearing for 232 Harvard Road. Our next meeting, Tuesday night, April 24th at 7:30?
So the site visit is at 5 o'clock?
5:15,
5:15.
yeah. Yeah, our next meeting's the 24th.
Anybody second the continuation? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that is so continued.
Thank you.
No, thank you both. Take a look. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
What'd you say?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
I was like, no, I have my mom's visiting. She's like, just go. You need to just go. And I asked her, he was like, are you sure? And I got my youngest to at 6:30.
Do we have any other updates? Land maintenance update was the Henderson striker. What was the
Yep,
other
and
one?
you're fine, but I heard engineering.
Yep. Come out from 5 Shire.
So with regard to the tree removal on that property,
Yes.
do we have any, like, they can
Yes.
just go and
It's
clear
in-
cut
with-
every?
No.
it's within the
Okay.
buffer zone.
Okay,
No.
only
Yeah, no.
diseased, okay.
They can make
Yeah.
the case.
I'm not into the whole
Yeah.
clearing, beautifying, I don't, you know what I mean, I don't
That
think.
doesn't.
Okay, so
That
that's,
doesn't work.
that's something that we can review as well?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep. So that's why it's important that they mark the trees before they remove them.
and is that something the Conservation Commission can review?
Yes.
Okay,
So we can review anything in the buffer, anything in, even actually adjacent upland resource area, which is basically everything within 75 or 100 feet, I can't remember.
Okay.
I think it's
Bylaw.
like that. So we have quite a bit of area that we have jurisdiction over.
okay,
But I would not, unless every single tree is dead, decaying.
right,
Never
Japanese
encourage
beetles.
that.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and I haven't driven by this property quite frequently.
Yeah,
It's a mess.
I don't
It's
know.
a mess.
It is.
It's a mess. It's certainly good that they're improving it, that,
yes,
you know, they're getting
How
the,
how close is his house?
it's way back.
It's, so the driveway goes up, and it's
So
up
the driveway's
here?
right there, but if you continue like towards Emily, but past Emily, yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
It's way up in the back.
Yeah.
So he just doesn't want to drive by and look down at this.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I don't blame him,
Yeah.
you know?
We'll take a look. Let's see.
Yeah.
Especially those big trees, we always try to save.
Good,
Yeah.
okay. Well, when he started
Yeah.
talking about clear cutting, I was
No, no,
a
no.
little, I didn't want to say
Yeah.
anything during that, but a little
Yeah.
startled by
Yeah.
that, okay.
Yeah, because you take down the canopy, you change the whole environment.
Exactly,
And
exactly,
And you're
exactly.
changing the wetland
The
because there's no
wetland,
shade
there's no
anymore.
shades, yeah.
Right, okay.
So that,
Yeah, change
Okay.
the thing, yeah.
Good point. I never quite thought of it
hard
that
to
way.
pass.
Any other items tonight?
Should I talk about the trails, anything? No,
Can't show it wasn't on the agenda,
okay.
No.
but on the 24th, we do have some trail topics.
So what?
Trail topics.
Oh, good.
Anything else? Spring cleaning tips, Jeff?
None?
None?
None whatsoever.
Spring might come?
The basement's dry.
Would, yeah. All right, that's it. I'd like to make a motion that we officially close the Tuesday, April 3rd, 2018 meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission. Hear a second?
Second.
I couldn't beat him to it. All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye, so closed. Good night, Bolton Access TV.